racial diversity in leadership, to me, means breaking down and combating the glass ceiling of racism within the senior leadership teams within organisations, and providing pathways for people of colour and black professionals to be able to lead organisations and be more involved in the leadership and direction that an organisation kind of embarks on. And also, I believe the barriers to positive leadership include a lack of allyship, lack of opportunities for reverse mentoring, and people of influence with organisations taking on board the views and perspectives of black professionals and what they encounter in their day-to-day practice.
Hello and welcome to the School of Shabs. As you know, last week was National Suicide Prevention Week. So for the next 3 videos, I want to concentrate on the topic of health and well-being and emotions and how we explore these through supervision. A recent survey by The Guardian with over 2,000 social workers revealed that 29% of them felt that their workload was unmanageable. 50% of social workers had concerns about their work-life balance. On a positive note, 82% were proud to be social workers and 76% enjoyed their jobs. So how do we ensure that we live well at work? We spend a lot of time at work, so how do we maximize our own well-being, the well-being of our staff, so that we can continue to provide the support and maximize the well-being of the people that we work alongside. And this is what I want to explore over my next 3 videos. I always refer to the saying, an unlit lamp cannot provide any light, or as we are always advised when we board a plane, secure your own oxygen mask before you help others. I'm going to share a tool today which helps to check in with your supervisee and acknowledge emotions and well-being. But before I do that, I want to share my story of how I realised the value in this tool. As a practice assessor, I visit several boroughs and undertake observations of practice educators providing supervision to their students, and then I provide feedback. Now, in one borough, I noticed that the first thing on their supervision template was health and well-being, and I really liked that. So when I got back to my office, I immediately adapted my supervision template, and the first thing on it was health and well-being and check-in. When I started asking my supervisees, how are you? I was met with the very English response of, I'm fine, thanks. And actually it's the same response I give my manager and have been for years. In my country, in Pakistan, if you ask someone how they are, you will get a very accurate description of how they are. They'll tell you about their aches and pains and how they potentially slept the night before. But here, we're quite polite, aren't we? We tend to just say, I'm fine. So I realized this isn't working for me. And that's when I discovered the art of questioning. Now, I love the art of questioning, and I'll do another video about that in the future. But I also discovered the use of animated communication tools and how that supports the communication process. And this is why I'm sharing the tool with you today, known as the blob tree. The blob tree was developed by behavioural psychologist Pip Wilson whilst working with young people. I have been using it for some years now, and over the years discovered that it's extremely versatile and can be used in a number of different ways. So I'm going to share with you 3 ways that I have been using this blob tree tool. So firstly, after asking my supervisee how they are, how their family is, how their health is, I then asked them to imagine that the tree represents work, and looking at the various blobs, and I'll refer to them as images from now on, Which image do they best feel represented by at this moment in time, and why? What's great about these images and this tool is that each one is open to interpretation, and the meaning is attributed by you, the supervisee, in that moment. So as a supervisor, you can gain a deeper understanding by probing. For example, I notice you have your arms folded here. What might that mean? Or, who is this offering you support here? Also, something like, I noticed 13 and 21 are very similar, but you chose 21. Does the positioning signify anything? Does it mean anything? Another way that I've used the blob tree is to reflect on action, to focus in on a particular aspect of work. So it might be that your supervisee was chairing a child in need meeting, or was involved in an adult safeguarding meeting, and it was a difficult meeting. So you want to provide a safe space through supervision to listen attentively and to be able to give them the opportunity to reflect on any emotional impact that this meeting may have had on them. It also gives you the opportunity as a supervisor to determine the support that's required, but also any developmental needs that may have arisen. The meeting might have actually gone really well. Your supervisor may have chaired it beautifully, and it's just as important to acknowledge that in supervision and praise that and highlight the positive emotions that have surfaced for the supervisee. Another very useful way to utilise the blob tree is to facilitate the connection between the supervisee with the people that they're working with, so the children, adult families that they're working with. It helps crucial assumptions to be voiced and discussed. So your supervisee might say something like, I'm finding it very difficult to work with this adult or child. And you can then ask them, how do they think the child or adult is feeling? And what image on this tree might represent that feeling? So as an example, a supervisee once shared this particular image. And what they shared was that it was someone who was refusing to have a carer help them with a wash. So we talked about this, and I asked what they think that might be about. They mentioned things like shame, embarrassment, loss and grieving of existing skills. This completely changed the narrative from the person being seen as a difficult person, a non-engaging person, to seeing them as a human being experiencing a set of emotions and a life-changing set of circumstances. And this is what we do in social work. We hypothesize based on using evidence and theory to inform and guide us, which then helps us plan and apply models and theory to our practice. I've shared 3 different ways that I've been using the blob tree. There are many, many other ways that you could be using this tool. If you're interested in this tool, the link is in my description. Why I particularly love this tool is because it's really helped me to move beyond receiving and giving that response of, I'm fine, thanks. It's really helped me to connect with my supervisees in a meaningful way and understand their feelings and connect that back to their work. It helps me to check in on their health and well-being. This needs to be a regular feature of supervision. Thank you for watching my video today. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another video. In the meantime, please keep subscribing, liking, sharing, put your notifications on so you never miss a video. I want to say a very big thank you to Wayne for his message in the beginning, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.